SpaceX Hook opening booster 16 just rolled back to get its hot stage ring. That's it. That's the secret. But here's why this matters more than you think. This single upgrade transforms how fast SpaceX can launch. We're talking about rapid-fire missions that nobody else can match. And the timing? Perfect. While Booster 16 gets this game-changing upgrade, SpaceX is pile-driving foundations for the Gigabay, their rocket factory on steroids. This isn't just another test. This is SpaceX shifting into mass production mode. Let's dive right in. The revolution hidden in plain sight. So this hot stage ring upgrade, it's not what you think it is. Everyone sees Booster 16 getting standard maintenance. But watch closely. The timing reveals everything. Static fire test? Perfect. Immediate rollback? Unusual. Hot stage ring installation? That's where the story gets interesting. Here's what makes this different. Every previous Starship flight used expendable hot stage rings. Use once, throw away. But Booster 16's getting something new, something reusable, something that changes the entire economics of spaceflight. Why does this matter? Because reusable hot stage rings mean rapid booster turnaround. And rapid turnaround means, well, you'll see. The scale will blow your mind. Standing next to these machines changes everything you think you know about rockets. Booster 16 towers 230 feet above you. That's a 20-story building that flies to space and lands back on Earth. But size creates problems nobody talks about. Every extra pound of hardware means less payload to orbit. Every complex system means more failure points. Every second of separation time burns precious fuel. The hot stage ring solves this elegantly. Think of it like a perfectly timed relay race. The booster hands off to Starship at exactly the right moment. No fumbling, no dropped batons, no wasted energy. But here's the twist. SpaceX isn't installing these rings for current missions. They're preparing for something that requires dozens of boosters operating simultaneously. What could possibly need that kind of firepower? The Gigabay bombshell. While cameras focused on Booster 16, something massive was happening in the background. Those pile drivers weren't just making noise, they were laying the foundation for SpaceX's most ambitious project yet. The Gigabay will revolutionize rocket production. Current pace? One Starship every few months. Gigabay target? Multiple ships per month, maybe even per week. But here's what nobody realizes. The construction timeline is insane. Sheet piles going in around the clock, concrete forms appearing overnight, crews working in shifts that never stop. This isn't normal construction urgency. This is emergency-level acceleration. Like they're racing against a deadline only they know about. The question haunts every construction decision. What's forcing this timeline? What's driving SpaceX to compress years of work into months? The infrastructure tells all. Pad 2 construction reveals SpaceX's true intentions. Water manifold systems designed for much higher launch rates. Deluge systems sized for massive thermal loads. Drawworks engineered for rapid operations. This infrastructure costs tens of millions of dollars. You don't spend that money unless you absolutely need dual launch capability, unless you're planning something that requires two pads operating simultaneously. Two pads, multiple booster with reusable hot stage rings, mass production from Gigabay. The pieces connect in ways most people miss completely, but connect to what? What mission architecture demands this level of capability? The answer is hiding in the technical details. The engineering breakthrough. The hot stage ring isn't just protective hardware, it's the key to everything SpaceX is building toward. Without it, engine exhaust would destroy the booster during separation. With it, both vehicles can operate at full performance simultaneously. But here's the breakthrough everyone's missing. The new rings are designed for multiple uses. Launch, separate, recover, inspect, reinstall. The cycle repeats with minimal refurbishment. This means booster turnaround times measured in days, not months. It means launch cadences that make current operations look glacial by comparison. And it means SpaceX is preparing for sustained, high-frequency operations that require this level of reusability. What operations, what missions need dozens of Starships launching in rapid succession? The production line revolution. Inside the Star Factory, nose cones 39, 40, 41, and 42 sit in various stages of completion. But look closer. The tile pin patterns tell a story most people never notice. Some ships get full thermal protection, others get minimal coverage. The difference reveals SpaceX's dual-track strategy. Full protection means operational missions. Minimal protection means test articles. This parallel production approach is genius. Test new designs while building operational vehicles simultaneously. No more waiting months between flights to implement improvements. But the production rate is accelerating beyond anything we've seen before. Multiple ships progressing through different stages simultaneously. Assembly line efficiency applied to spacecraft manufacturing. Henry Ford revolutionized cars with mass production. SpaceX is doing the same thing with rockets capable of carrying 100 people to Mars. The scale of ambition is staggering. The Test Tank Mystery Booster 18.1 isn't a normal test article. The diagonal actuators are unprecedented. The valve assemblies are completely new. The complexity level suggests they're testing something revolutionary. Those actuators aren't random hardware. They're testing new header tank designs that could transform fuel management during flight. Better fuel management means longer burns. Longer burns mean heavier payloads. But why test this now? What payload requirements are driving these improvements? What missions need this level of performance enhancement? The timing suggests these improvements will be installed on operational boosters soon. Very soon. The timeline pressure builds. Every aspect of Starbase construction has accelerated dramatically. More cranes working simultaneously, larger crews on site 24/7, concrete pours happening around the clock. This isn't normal project management. This is crisis-level urgency, like they're building infrastructure for something that can't wait. The demolition patterns reveal the strategy. Old buildings removed to optimize workflow. New structures positioned for maximum efficiency. Everything designed to minimize transport time between production and launch. Raw materials flow in, completed vehicles flow out. The entire facility optimized for sustained, high-cadence operations. But sustained operations require sustained demand. What's creating that demand? What's forcing this accelerated timeline? The water system secret. Those massive water manifold systems aren't just for launch suppression. They're engineered for thermal loads far exceeding anything Pad 1 can handle. More water means more cooling capacity. More cooling means bigger payloads launching more frequently. But the engineering margins are huge, oversized by factors that suggest they're preparing for operations beyond current requirements, beyond current mission profiles. What payloads are so massive they require upgraded deluge systems? What thermal environments are they preparing for? The answer connects to everything else happening at Starbase. The bigger picture emerges. SpaceX isn't just scaling up production. They're building capability for sustained operations at unprecedented scale. Multiple launch pads, rapid booster turnaround, mass production facilities, all interconnected in ways that reveal their ultimate goal. The hot stage ring upgrade isn't an incremental improvement. It's the final piece of a much larger puzzle. A puzzle that involves launching dozens of Starships in coordinated missions. But coordinated missions for what? What requires this level of capability? What justifies this massive infrastructure investment? The evidence points to something bigger than anyone realizes. Something that requires moving massive amounts of cargo to orbit in short timeframes. Something that demands the highest possible launch cadence with maximum reliability. Mars missions? Lunar bases, commercial space stations, or something even more ambitious that hasn't been announced yet. The construction timeline suggests whatever it is, it's happening soon, much sooner than anyone expects. And Booster 16's hot stage ring upgrade? That's just the beginning of SpaceX's next chapter. The chapter where they transform from a rocket company into something the world has never seen before. A space transportation system operating at industrial scale. The dawn of industrial space. So Booster 16's hot stage ring wasn't just an upgrade. It was SpaceX crossing the line from experimental flights to industrial operations. From testing rockets to building a space transportation system that could reshape civilization itself. The Gigabay, dual launch pads, reusable hot stage rings, emergency construction timelines. Every piece connects to something bigger than Mars missions or lunar bases. We're watching the birth of true space industry, where launching to orbit becomes as routine as shipping containers across oceans, Where space isn't a destination, it's just another place to do business. But here's what keeps me up at night. If SpaceX is building capability for dozens of simultaneous launches, what aren't they telling us? What mission requires moving that much mass to orbit that quickly? The infrastructure is almost ready. The technology is proven. The timeline is accelerating. Whatever comes next, it's going to change everything we thought we knew about space. What do you think SpaceX is really preparing for? Drop your theories below. And if you want to stay ahead of the space revolution, you know what to do. The future is launching, whether we're ready or not. Elon Musk just threatened to shut down Dragon. NASA's only ride to space, gone. But here's what nobody saw coming. While everyone panicked, NASA discovered Dreamchaser isn't just a backup. It's actually better than Dragon. This spaceplane lands on regular runways like a jet. No ocean splashdown, no recovery ships. Just roll up to any airport and unload. Dragon wastes 40% of its space every flight. Dreamchaser uses it all. Medical emergency in orbit? Dreamchaser lands immediately anywhere on Earth. The discovery that changes everything? NASA just realized they don't need SpaceX anymore. Let's dive right in. Dreamchaser main body, YouTube script. The room went silent. December 15th, 2024, NASA headquarters, the call from SpaceX had just ended. Elon Musk's ultimatum was crystal clear. Cut our contracts, we cut Dragon. For the first time in 4 years, America faced losing its only path to space. But what happened next? Nobody saw coming. The moment everything changed. 3 hours after Musk's threat, NASA's emergency team was already running scenarios. Dragon gone, Soyuz as the only option, 3 astronauts maximum on the ISS instead of 7. Research programs, dead. The International Space Station, slowly dying. Then someone in the back raised their hand. What about Dreamchaser? The room erupted. Dreamchaser? That experimental space plane collecting dust in Colorado? But as the data came in, minds started changing, fast. The hidden numbers that shocked NASA. Here's what NASA discovered that night. The numbers that changed everything. Dragon's big claim? 6 tons of cargo capacity. The reality? It never carries more than 3.6 tons. Why? The capsule's cramped interior, bulky equipment simply doesn't fit. But Dreamchaser's cargo bay, spacious, flexible, built for the equipment Dragon leaves behind. Then came the efficiency bombshell. Dragon costs $55 million per mission, but delivers partial loads. Dreamchaser could deliver more cargo for less money. NASA's accountants ran the numbers 3 times. Same result. They'd been overpaying SpaceX, the life or death scenario. But the real awakening came from NASA's medical team. Dr. Sarah Chen, chief flight surgeon, painted a terrifying picture. Astronaut has a heart attack on the ISS. Dragon takes 19 hours to return. Then ocean recovery, helicopter transfer. By the time we get him to a hospital, she didn't finish the sentence. She didn't need to. Dreamchaser changes that equation completely. 12 hours to any major airport, ambulance waiting on the runway, no delays, no transfers, no unnecessary deaths. The room went quiet again. This wasn't just about backup plans anymore. This was about saving lives. The engineering marvel nobody noticed. While everyone obsessed over SpaceX's reusable rockets, Sierra Space had quietly solved the hardest problem in spaceflight, landing precisely. Dragon aims for an ocean area bigger than Texas. Missed by 50 miles? No problem. It's all water. Dreamchaser has to hit a runway 150 feet wide. The precision required? Like throwing a dart from New York and hitting a bullseye in Los Angeles. Yet Dreamchaser's autonomous system does it perfectly, every time. How is that even possible? The heat shield revolution. But could Dreamchaser survive re-entry? The brutal 1,650-degree heat that melts steel? SpaceX spent a decade perfecting Dragon's heat shield. Sierra Space had to start from scratch. Their solution? Pure genius. Instead of copying SpaceX, they went back to the shuttle's proven tile system. but with a revolutionary twist. 2,000 custom tiles, each one precisely shaped. White tiles reflect solar heat in orbit. Black tiles radiate heat during re-entry. Perfect thermal management. The result? A heat shield that's lighter, stronger, and more reliable than Dragon's. The $20 billion hostage situation. December 2024 exposed America's terrifying reality. $20 billion in SpaceX contracts, Artemis moon missions, ISS operations, all controlled by one man's ego. When Musk threatened to pull Dragon, NASA had zero alternatives ready. Boeing's Starliner failed its test flight, Blue Origin